Before I begin, this story is up 18 years. When you have kids around, please use headphones. Thank you for your understanding. Kalkajaka, the hidden, secret kingdom of the lizard creatures. The Black Mountain in Queensland, Australia was formed around 250 million years ago and is a collection of melted rock pieces. This mountain is also called the Bermuda Triangle of Queensland. There is a cave system under the rocks that warn the natives not to enter these caves. Anyone who enters the caves disappears without a trace. The Aboriginals tell the story about the Black Mountain the story is about. The mountain is known as Kalkajaka, a sacred place inspiring both fear and awe in equal measure. The name Kalkajaka literally means the place of the spear and was the site of bloody battles between warring ancestral clans and the spirits of the Dreamtime. Kalkajaka is known for making loud, explosive noises, which can happen without warning. The Aboriginal ancestors painted images of lizards on stones that are known as spirits of the Dreamtime. Spirits of the Dreamtime, are these aliens? Is the Black Mountain a hot spot for alien activity? This mountain is considered sacred to the Aboriginal people. Perhaps ancient alien technology is hidden deep within Black Mountain. According to some of the wilder theories, there are unusual disturbances in the airspace above the mountains, with pilots reporting aircraft turbulence, magnetic fields or thermal currents. A team consisting of geologists, paranormal investigators and other scientists joined forces to enter the cave system despite serious warnings from the Aboriginals. The plane with two paranormal scientists from Germany lands at Brisbane Airport in Queensland. The two are here to investigate the strange disappearances of people on Black Mountain. They meet with other scientists including geologist, biologist, and the tribal leader of the local Aboriginal clan. The two scientists are called Helmut and Wilhelm. After landing, the two pick up their suitcases and go to the car rental company. They have rented a Jeep with an enlarged cooling system. Their journey will take them across the terrain. The area around the Black Mountain is its own ecosystem with special algae that grow on the rocks and 3 species of lizards that only occur on the Black Mountain. A mysterious magnetic field also surrounds the region, which has caused problems for many aircraft. When the two scientists picked up their Jeep, they headed to Cooktown to meet up with the other scientists and the Aboriginals. The journey takes a few hours. Australia is an incredibly large continent but not densely populated. The landscape is a bit reminiscent of the prairie. There are bushes and grass everywhere, and very rarely trees. The soil is very rocky and sandy. When Helmut and Wilhelm arrive at the Cooktown Hotel, the geologist Mike and the biologist Peter are already waiting in the lobby. "Thank God you're finally here. We've been waiting for you for half the day," Mike says impatiently. The leader of the Aboriginal clan was already here. He clearly warned us not to enter the caves. Mount Kalkajaka is sacred and something is going on there. The chief said that anyone who entered the caves never found the way out. He also showed us newspaper articles about it. "Well, anyway, he'll come back later to talk to you too," Mike said. "Okay, thank you very much, Mike. We're looking forward to seeing you," Wilhelm replied. The researchers have known each other for years. They have worked together many times. After the researchers have recovered from the long journey, all four go to the restaurant to eat dinner. After dinner they go back to the hotel. A group of Aboriginal people and their chief are waiting in front of the hotel. The chief comes up to the researchers and says, "We have to talk." Wilhelm replies, "Let's go to the lobby." After everyone was seated, the chief started talking. "Thank you for listening to me. Several centuries ago there was a war between our ancestors around Kalkajaka. Many lost their lives until the spirits of the Dreamtime finally ended it all, and this mountain is their home. Everyone who went into the caves never came back. The mountain is defended by the spirits of the Dreamtime. Our ancestors drew the spirits as lizards, but we don't know exactly what they really look like. Please don't go in, we don't want to complain about any more victims. Thank you for your warnings, we are well prepared and know what we are doing. We will examine the caves," Helmut said to the chief. The chief gets up and leaves the hotel without saying a word. The next day, the scientists head to Black Mountain. The Black Mountain is 20 miles from Cooktown in Kalkajaka National Park. On their way there they see kangaroos, buffalo and various species of birds. The scientists can already see the Black Mountain from the distance. A black mountain that looks like rocks were stacked on top of each other. The rocks are 250 million years old and were formed after a volcanic eruption. Algae grows on the rocks, which gives the rocks a dark appearance. The researchers park the jeep and take their equipment, walking the rest of the way. The scientists reach the first cave shortly before Black Mountain. They attach a rope so that they can easily find their way out of the cave system. The researchers now enter the cave with special lamps, protective equipment and breathing apparatus. Geologist Mike takes samples from the rocks on the cave wall. The path leads downhill and it starts to get wetter. Stalactites can be admired everywhere. After a while, the researchers come to a cave with a small lake, but they can't go any further from there. The path ends here. The biologist Peter takes samples from the underground lake. At that moment the earth begins to shake. "We have to get out of here quickly," shouts Helmut. Everyone starts running back to the entrance, but the rope was gone. Nobody cares at the moment. The researchers just want to get out before the cave collapses. Finally they see daylight. The researchers run out, but this is no longer Australia. They have landed somewhere in an unknown world. The researchers are amazed. They are on another planet. There are 2 moons and a red sun. The leaves of the plants are black and insects as big as birds fly around. It is a swampy landscape with trees as tall as skyscrapers. Helmut asks, amazed, "What happened? Where are we? Let's better turn back." Mike says. The researchers turn around, but the cave has disappeared. "I think we went through a portal to another dimension. That explains the mysterious disappearance of people," explains Wilhelm. "I think the best thing to do is to look around and set up a camp. We're trapped here and I don't think the space-time hole will reappear anytime soon," says Helmut. The researchers find a dry path that leads through the swamp. They walk along the path and come to one of the huge trees and set up camp between the roots. In the distance they see flying lizards that look exactly like they did in the dinosaur era of the Jurassic. Everyone collects twigs and branches to make a campfire. Luckily, Peter has a lighter, which makes the project much easier. The researchers sit around the campfire and it begins to get dark. They are watching the 2 moons with fascination when they suddenly notice noises. Something comes climbing down the tree. The scientists look up and see lizards as big as humans coming towards them. They were about to run away but stopped immediately. They have been surrounded. These lizard creatures are standing upright all around the camp. These creatures have heads like iguanas, yellow reptilian eyes and a long tail. These creatures also wear clothes. One of them throws a net over the researchers, and together the creatures drag the researchers to a cart that is being pulled by a huge, unknown buffalo-like animal. There is a cage on the cart where the researchers are locked up. Helmut tries to communicate with the creatures, but the beast immediately hisses at him. The scientists sit silently and intimidated in the cage and are transported away. Several hours have already passed and the morning is dawning. The researchers wake up from their restless sleep and see that they are no longer in the swamp. They are on the edge of a mountain range that consists mainly of volcanoes. Huge dinosaur-like animals graze on the slopes. In the distance, the scientists see a huge wall and behind it a city with houses similar to those from the Middle Ages. The lizard creatures are walking towards this city. The city has a large, strong gate and there is a ditch in front of the city. The drawbridge is lowered and the cart is pulled into the city. The researchers are very amazed that people and lizards live and work together in this city. The cart stops in front of a large building. A person who looks like an aboriginal and a lizard creature with a crown on his head comes out of the building. The person comes up to them and says, "Hello strangers, this is the planet of the lost. Like me, you also found your way here via Kalkajaka. Why did you enter the holy mountain?" Helmut answers, "We are scientists and have explored Mount Kalkajaka." The human turns to the lizard creature and communicates with it using sign language. The creature hisses 3 times and the researchers are released from the cage. The aboriginal approaches the researchers and says, "There is no turning back here. We live together with the spirits of the dreamtime. They give us food, clothes and everything else we need, but in return we also have to work. Never leave the city. There are dangerous creatures that eat everything they come across. I will now take you to your house where you will live and sleep." The researchers say nothing and follow the aboriginal people. He explains to them that their job will be the maintenance and cleaning of the city. The house is a half-timbered building with flowers on the windows and fruit trees in the gardens. The scientists enter and see antique furniture and objects. Everyone is tired from the exertion and goes to bed. The next morning they are picked up and start working. They spend the rest of their lives in the realm of the lizard creatures. It is mentioned in the Cooktown News and in the news that 4 explorers have disappeared without a trace in the Black Mountain. Despite warnings from the aboriginals, they entered the sacred Kalkajaka. End of the story.